There is a photograph reproduced in the book The Camera as Witness, a social history of Mizoram, northeast India, that shows the first motor vehicle to have entered Mizoram. In front of the truck stand, 2 women and 2 men, while a group of curious local boys peer at the camera from behind these 4 people. According to the book's authors, historians Joy Ilke Patsuau and Willem van Schnendel, the original caption to the photograph had this to say about this image's profundity. Mrs. A.G. McCall and Mrs. H.S. Hyde ICS with 2 army drivers on the occasion of the arrival of the first motor vehicle in the Lushai Hills. The picture was taken around 1942 at the height of the Second World War, when the Allies were trying to arrest the onward march of Imperial Japan and its partners through Southeast Asia on their way to invade India. The first woman to be mentioned in the photograph's caption, Mrs. McCall, was the spouse of the then superintendent of the Lushai Hills, Major McCall, who was headquartered in Aizawl and who for the most part oversaw the Allied war effort in this remote and then very difficult to reach corner of the British Empire.
It would have perhaps been rather difficult for Major McCall to imagine on that momentous day 75 years ago that there would eventually be so many motor vehicles in the city he once administered the entire region from that the local authorities have had to strictly regulate not just parking but to even disallow the movement of groups of vehicles on different days. As things stand now, the city's traffic police estimate there are almost 89,000 vehicles within the city, meaning as many as 250 vehicles share every kilometer of road space. To some, these statistics might make it seem as if Aizawl is a city overcrowded with vehicles, and indeed it is. Although no part of Aizawl takes more than an hour to reach from anywhere else in the city, the road congestion during peak hours is bad enough that it would take twice or even thrice the time, especially in the inner city areas.
Being overcrowded, however, does not mean that Aizawl's roads are also immensely noisy. On the contrary, it is unlike any other city with large vehicular populations, and on summer days in some parts of the city, one can actually enjoy the sounds of cicadas and birdsong, even when there are any number of vehicles on the roads. That is because the people of Aizawl have a habit of not blowing their horns. We are currently driving around the city, and as you can hear in the background, you'll hear the sound of the vehicles, but of course, again, without any sound of a single honk. Alright, so as you can hear, listen to it closely and enjoy the silent city. And for now, we are stuck in the traffic jam as usual during business days and business hours. Yeah, this happens pretty much every cities in different places, right? Yeah, we're also stuck here in the traffic jam, but still, again, there is no single sound of any motor vehicle horn. So people are just waiting for their turn to make a move of their vehicle. So here the engine starts. We're about to move again. It's so quiet and peaceful. But for now, I don't hear the sound of the cicada though. But enjoy. It is a behavior that has had its share of appreciation, so much so that even a short film has been made about Aizawl's no-horn culture. The short film is aptly titled Tranquility, and it was made with support by the Films Division of India by local filmmaker Napoleon Arzet-Thanga, who also sometimes goes by the name Napo Thanga. Although the film is about an obscure hill city in the farthest corner of the country, and even more obscure phenomenon such as a non-honking culture in a country that by a large wakes up to and falls asleep to the seemingly never-ending sound of motor horns. It has garnered no less than 40,000 views online and several dozen comments, with choreographer and director Prabhudeva even adding his own introductory lines to the film, praising the no-horn culture of this small scenic town. One of the comments left by your viewers reads,
Congrats Aizawl on this feat. You are an example of how proper civic sense makes a city peaceful. Keep it up.
Hello, Vincent.
Okay, nice to meet you.
This is Vincent, the traffic police, who is currently on his active duty here at one of his stations. So I am going to ask him a few questions regarding the silent city. So right now, as we could see here and we could hear, there's a lot of sound of vehicles, but without any single honking sound. So how do you manage this?
Yeah, before, they used to say that Aizawl is a silent city. Actually, it's a silent city because it doesn't have honking like that. So I guess you can see right now what you see, what you hear, isn't it? So
Yes.
we advise give some advice to the people not to give horn and not to put some silencers, some like that means.
Not too much noise,
Yeah,
you
not too.
mean?
Yeah.
All right, so right now people are stuck in a traffic jam. So how do you manage this? People are like really polite, even when you're not here, or maybe only when you're standing here.
No. Yeah, you see our road. We try to manage it, but so many models. Yeah, traffic jam will happen really means. But yeah.
It's a small city with a lot of vehicles, right? But how do you manage with this huge traffic, but still the drivers are polite and they are passing through, nobody's arguing, nobody's yelling, and nobody's honking. So how do you manage this?
Yeah, cause we're miso means. Okay, yeah. In that case, the people are nice. Means there's a lot
Even
of
the drivers are polite.
Yeah, they're polite. The drivers are good, and I guess it's fine means.
All right, I understand, yes. And you're currently on your active duty. I'm so sorry to take up your time, but I really thank you, appreciate your time. And as we could see here, no, you actually can't see, but as you can hear, there's a lot of the sound of the vehicle around us, right? And during this whole conversation, I don't think you even hear a single sound of the honking sound, right? And there's still people passing through and still huge traffic. But thank you, Vincent, for your time.
Okay, nice. Thanks a lot.
Is it India? God, I didn't even hear many horns, commented another.
Another viewer from Darjeeling even compared the no honking culture to other cities and said, It's good to see Mizoram being a horn-free state which even Delhi, Mumbai and Calcutta cannot achieve. We tribals have started living better lives than civilized people.
Kaputi ba? Hey, do na kan shed angin mun busy laya kan oma motori po atam amay ro chu hey mi re reng hianin an honin met fak lawa nang ni he heta I two wheeler taxi kan ti ang kha in khala two wheeler taxi bi ka chang hian thil thalam le thil thalolam han soi du he mi Aizawl city chungchang a hian silent city ti big mo hey motor I horn kan pet sala
le
chungchang bi ka hian ni
ai bị trùng trang ai chuyên đi Aizawl motor khala một two wheeler taxi một đấy rèn here chuan in lẽ là mà chuan in hôn tới cắn mệt vắt tổ là wa mà rồi chuan lâu thấy lâu ang chi chuan hôn về here là ai về thì na mà ai cái chuan cắn zia cắn beng sen tổ lâu khóc mày hết kia hôn về lâu tour ti chu ống chuông là wa mà rồi chu cái mà đi driver hole here in kan in thurua ang reng khoba yang me wak wak chang kang to lo a silent city to lo kan ti wang in kan met vak to lo ni ber maya ma kan son chuan kan ria
Kan lom lu tu ke.
Now I have the two-wheeler taxi driver, and there's this question asked to this gentleman, a two-wheeler taxi driver in the middle of the busy place, about the silent city in his experience, which he responded as people normally don't blow horn anymore, or unless it is necessary, as most of the vehicle drivers considered as uncivilized. And the second question goes as, what are the reaction when a person honks a lot for no reason, if there ever was such a situation? And he responded as, they did not react physically towards that person, but would think that person doesn't have a civic sense. And it isn't just social media that has taken notice of Aizawl's horn-free culture. Several national news organizations have even run stories praising the fact. One story of the topic, by online media giant Scoop Whoop, had this to say: there is one city in India which has totally cut down the noise and disturbance in and around the area, Aizawl, the capital of Mizoram. It's the first city in India to adopt the no honking policy. While you're in this beautiful city of Mizoram, the city's soundscape is the only music you are likely to hear, unlike Delhi and Mumbai, where everybody wants to just fly over the traffic jam. For cities like these, where the no honking signs considered as irrelevant as the zebra crossing, the no honking initiative taken by the citizens of Aizawl surely deserves applause. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
It's very good to have you here today. Right now, I have the Superintendent of Police, Bu Si Lalkan Moya, here with us, and I am going to ask him a few questions relating to this silent city, as we are proud of. So the first question is, as we know, our topic is silent city. Why nobody is honking at all in the city? Do you particularly tell them not to, or when to, or when not to? Any comment on that?
Thank you so much for coming to my office. Here, we traffic police, Aizawl, are also very proud of being known as a silent city. Aizawl traffic police is, I must say, is strongly committed in ensuring road safety, traffic management and control in Aizawl city.
No doubt.
Yeah, it undertakes various awareness programs among school children. Last year also we used to have awareness program in various schools, selected school. We have a target,
All right.
at least one school in a week. Last year also. So the same will continue this year also, this 2018. So due to this, our continuous awareness program, traffic rules, driving manners, driving etiquettes, and not only that, we also publish continuously these driving manners, driving etiquettes through print and electronic media, which is mostly welcomed by the public. And traffic violators are strongly dealt impartially, and proper counseling were also given to the defaulting drivers in our traffic station.
Thank you so much for all those information that you just gave, sir.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
now I have a second question. So since the cities, the roads, the traffic, yes, it's a little crowded, overcrowded as compared to the population now. And the roads are more like a serpentine road, like lots of curves.
Yes.
So is it necessary to honk when you are driving through the curves? Do you have any rules, like the traffic rules, like you are supposed to honk when you are passing through the curves, so that the other person, coming from a different direction, the opposite direction, will be careful? That way there will be less accident.
Yeah, we have very good traffic laws
All right.
Universal law in India, I should say, we have Central Motor Vehicle Rules
All right.
and Central Motor Vehicle Act 1988, in
Okay.
which everything is written to be observed by the drivers.
Okay.
They are supposed to know when to blow horn and when not to blow horn. In fact,
That's good.
yeah. So what I want to say is, if the driving license issuing authority is strict enough,
Yes.
no need to undertake separate awareness program for the driver. So as in USA and in European country, issuing of driving license is very, very strict. So because of that, drivers are responsible driver. Because in all road accident and traffic accident, driver's responsibility is the highest. It is assessed that 75% road accident is because of the driver's fault. Another 25% is minor case.
During the business days or like weekdays, the business hours, the
Yes.
city is small, but there's huge traffic in the middle of the city, but then nobody's honking at all.
Yes.
So do you think that every drivers follow those rules or awareness that you provided?
Yeah, I should say we have witnessed a success. Our awareness program is successful, I should say about 80%, especially in Aizawl city. Yeah, every year through the initiative of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Government of India, every state government should have Road Safety Week
Okay.
every year in the first week of February or January, whatever, convenient to the state concerned. Here in Mizoram, we used to have Road Safety Week every year in the first week of February.
Okay, one more question. You know, I drove around the city too, but I hardly see the sign like nearby the hospitals or the schools or the church, like, you know, there's supposed to be no honking sign. Like if you drive outside a different state, outside Mizoram, you will see those no honking
Yes, yes,
signs.
yes.
So do you think those are necessary to put up?
As per rules, putting up this sign like
No honking zone.
no honking zone near hospital and near school. Yeah, it is necessary, but in Aizawl city, as you had just mentioned, since through our continuous awareness program and all, especially in Aizawl city, drivers are polite and disciplined.
Right.
Yeah, in Aizawl city itself, they are not required to put up a signboard.
I think that's pretty much the question that I have, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your visit to my office.
It may come as a bit of a surprise that despite such silence of the horns in this city, motor parts shops still do stock up on vehicle horns. We recently spoke to Pumarina, the owner of a large motor parts shop called RPS Automobiles in the heart of the city, and he said yes, he does stock up on motor horns in his shop, and no, just because few people blow their horns doesn't necessarily mean they don't have horns in their cars or fit new louder ones.
Puji bai.
Thì vậy là
Hey tu na taxi khaltu kan komve thung do na hemi silent city ti chungchang a hian midang te kan lo zot nual to a silent city hemi motor tamdan ngai to a hon an me si lo ang chanchin vel hi kan lo shenwal to a taxi lampang atang hian zona kan zot ve tu thunga chu da chuanin ka zona zo tu chu hian ni khata in tan chung hian I taxi hon hi voi engzat vel hi I me ve thin
anh khóc mấy hay Mizoram mà hiền, akong azima tot, ang ai hiền hon hi, cái in petam lâu khóc mấy azo cái na, phai à,แต่ก็ chọn ăn giảm, lek pon hon khu rít chua mấy à, Mizoram mà rồi chọn hon hi cái in petam lâu khóc mấy à, cái lâu mù đan lệ cái lâu thiệt thiên đan à, chọn công cối lệ cái hành in pel don, châu hiền hon hi, in pek nan châu hiền cái mang ni, แต่ po hiền cắt hết đâu.
ka lo me ti le ke po le ti deu na khani mai lo me
Ni deu maya hon anin pek te chu kalome hanin ti le keibo le han ti ba ka hian Akam han moe milo sai do hanti na te po man tul na hun te po ve thei thawa kai ma ni I mamo da na zir khan mo aten po hianin kal role hanin ti nan te po hanin pek hun te po om tho mai
อันนี้จวนนังมาเพราะนี่เม็ดมังเลี้ยมเหล่าตีหน้านี่มั้ง
atul fe lo chuan ka met mang lo an ti nan ma mi te motor lian te motor dang po lo om ta chela in hunga ka dingai han ti nan te po hon chuan me te po angai thina mo hon tem ti ri lo chuan I lo ngoi rangai lo ding ngoi ranga min ti theya an hunga kan va din ta hian in hunga ka ome lo ti nan te po hian hon han me te po a thakop mai.
This is the question asked to the normal taxi driver about the silent city, that how many times does he ever blow his vehicle horn in a day? And his response goes as he hardly blows his vehicle horn, only maybe when he wanted to let the bigger truck running in front of him and in case he stuck in a traffic jam or needs to stop, and to let him know that he is at his behind so that he won't hit or, without any warning. So that was used for a warning, but that would not be along blowing the horn. And he also added that sometimes the motor horns are used for giving signal like your turn to move, and that's pretty much the only time that he ever blow his motor vehicle horn.
But there is an interesting catch, as he explained. What he has noticed over the decades is that those who own cars who rarely venture out of the city in them are content with the horns that their cars originally come with. Conversely, it is those who own vehicles that frequently travel outside the city, such as rentals, taxis, maxicabs, buses and trucks, that normally fit new louder horns. So basically, he says, Aizawl is such a horn-free city that people only fit louder horns when they have to travel out often and travel the highways.
But of course, it isn't just about horns in Aizawl. There is also a polite and orderly culture of driving in the city. As a recent story by national news channel NDTV testifies, imagine this: it's Monday morning, office rush hours, and you are sulking in snail-paced traffic, yet no one here around honks, no one tries to overtake or break the queues. Well, that is exactly what happens around a year in Mizoram's capital, Aizawl. Aizawl's smart traffic management is a people's initiative. Everyone here refrains from honking and breaking the long queue of vehicles on hilly serpentine roads.
Hilly serpentine roads indeed. It might be interesting to step back a little from the present and go back in time, not 75 years ago in 1942 when the first vehicle entered Mizoram, but almost 150 years ago, back to when, apart from the various Mizo tribes and clans who had lived in this region for hundreds and hundreds of years, people from various other regions entered the hills of Mizoram in any meaningful way for the first time in history.
These first set of explorers were, first and foremost, soldiers under the British Raj, whose mission was to rescue several people who had been captured as slaves by the fierce Mizo chiefs. The second set of explorers was Christian missionaries. It is interesting to note that both sets of explorers commented time and again on the paths they took and the way they traveled, starting in the 1870s and obviously extending to the 1940s, when the road on which the first truck to enter Mizoram was constructed. One of these early explorers wrote, with some apparent exasperation, that most of the hills were no less than 30 degrees steep. Evidently, this meant there were few directions to take except straight up and straight down. What's more, the entire hillsides were jungle.
This made it almost impossible to travel with any comfort, and certainly there was no possibility of employing the services of wagons or carts. At most, all that came by in the form of a vehicle of some sort was either a pony or a mule. But the dense jungles meant even these animals could not be used whenever and wherever desired, and a man's or woman's two God-given feet were what one could mostly expect to get around on at all. Of course, such modes of travel meant traveling was always a very natural affair, verily a walk in the woods. And such walks, long and strenuous as they were, would have meant early travelers in Mizoram were always treated to the sounds of nature, with one female missionary commenting around 1928 that a warrior had shot a tiger on the very path she was about to take just a few hours before she and her party reached that same spot. "I owe my life to the man," she wrote on the back of a photograph showing the warrior posing with the shot tiger.
If there were tigers along the paths in those days, of course, there must surely have been birds and birdsong and even the steady drone of cicadas.
Cicada. Not too much has changed. In a recent video of traffic in Aizawl posted on YouTube, the camera focused on the slow, steady and careful way cars met at an intersection, waited patiently for other cars to pass or allow them to pass, and went their way, all of this without anyone honking their horns.
As the camera focused on this sight, a familiar sound emerged in the silence, a cicada.